felt pathetic for letting myself fall asleep. I'm sorry, Satoko. How lovely. Well, we do need our sleep after all. Fucking bullshit. The city blurred into view. It was hot. There was a thin layer of moist sweat on me. The voices of the cicadas permeating my room were somehow grating to my head.
I
remembered today was a weekday and quickly brought myself to consciousness. And then, finally, I leaped out of bed. The clock read a little before 10. I was totally late. When I wandered downstairs, my mom would get mad at me. There was nothing I could do, though. After reviewing the schedule for the school day for a moment, I suitably rearranged the stuff in my bag. I hurried and got dressed, then went down the stairs. Oh my god, we're late. There was no sign of my parents anywhere. Maybe they went outside somewhere. Maybe they went out somewhere together. Actually, now I'm questioning it. They should have woken us, like early on. Why are we, so late at school, and the parents are not here? So that's how it was. My mother had probably woken me up once this morning. But then I fell back asleep without remembering it. I guess there's that. And my parents, thinking I'd gone to school, left. Something like that probably happened. Which means it probably didn't happen like that. I wonder if there was an emergency or something. I went to the front door. And as I expected, it was locked. Like I was right. Not to mention that Rena probably came here as well and was waiting for us all the time. It was further evidence of my speculation being correct. When I realized my parents weren't here, I suddenly felt less like I had to rush to get to school. There was one portion of breakfast left in the dining room. Probably mine. The milk they poured in had gone warm since a while ago. When I realized how hard it would be to sneak food for Satoko, yesterday I had cried. Well, thinking back on it, food wasn't the only issue in that regard. I wasn't in a position where I could care for Satoko by myself anyway. It's such a heavy thing to just save a single person. I'd seen this on TV and in comic books all the time. Those feel-good words about how you'll save your friends for sure, and such. Was that why I ran my mouth like that, swearing to save her, because I wanted to feel good about it? No, that absolutely wasn't true. Because the fact was, I couldn't save her. Because I didn't want to think like an adult. Like I couldn't do anything but watch. Yeah, of course. Well, I do have to ask, what are we gonna do today? What are we gonna do? Had Satoko gone to school today? I immediately realized that was a meaningless question. Whether or not she did, there wouldn't be a change in the environment she'd been placed in. If I couldn't save her, then no one else could either. Then we could only pray for a miracle.
俺たちは無力か。
With a vague goal of getting to school in mind, I sluggishly put on my shoes and stumbled out the front door. I only overslept by 2 or 3 hours, but the sunlight in there felt completely different from how they usually were in the morning. Well, of course they did. Once 10 o'clock came around, you could barely call it morning anymore. I didn't feel like walking the same old road to school. I needed to ultimately end up there, but it was like I didn't want to choose the shortest route, the most proactive one to get to school. Put in a more positive light, maybe I wanted some time to walk by myself and think. Yeah, some walking around would do wonders for the brain. I mean, we are already late to school anyway. What would an extra hour do to you? It won't be like any difference whatsoever. I had to go to school, partly to make sure Sato was safe. Yeah, that's true. But I hadn't come up with any plans yet. Nothing since last night. So the path I took from my house was in the complete opposite direction. If I went this way, I'd pass Rena's house and the dam site. It would be quite a detour. I calculated how long of a detour it would end up being. Then, satisfied with the answer, I started to walk. Rena brought me to the dam site a few times. Yeah, for the treasure hunting. She was surely happy for his colonel, like bringing him back home again. One section of it had turned into an unlawful, oversized garbage dump, and Rena really liked going fishing for junk in there. Without that, she'd come off as a completely normal girl too. I can think of a few other qualities she could do without, but whatever. Stupid damn sight right over here. The view quickly opened up, and I was hit by a strong wind. There was no shelter here at this big damn site. This damn site. It's because of a stupid damn bridge that they tried to create like a couple of years ago. Many people are suffering these days. Satoko, Reika, Mion, Rena, more than likely Oishi, more than likely a lot of the adults involved in all this. Like, what the fuck? Maybe it was a good thing I came here, I thought. At the very least, it was more healthy to think about stuff in a place like this instead of my cramped bedroom. Yeah, I guess. Just take some deep breaths. Just throw a bunch of rocks in the water. I took a deep breath and filled my lungs with the rich, cold air unique to Hinamizawa. Ring, ring. I turned around reflexively. It was a bicycle bell. Considering where I was standing, I don't think they were trying to get me out of the way. They rang the bell because they wanted something from me. The fuck?
Yeah, 申し訳ないね.
Oh. And then there's this motherfucker right over here. With his bitch ass hoe like right behind him, more than likely. Hi there, Tomitake.
君、Hinamizawaの人だよね。
そうですけど。
I've seen this person around a few times. Right, I remembered. His name, I think, was Tomitake, a freelance photographer who lived in Tokyo. He would zealously visit Hinamizawa every season to take pictures. Or so Mio and any others told me, I think.
古出神社ってここからどう行けばいいか教えてもらえないかい?
Sure. I can bet like $100 why you're wanting to go there in the first place.
マップを宿に置いてきちゃったみたいでね。困ってたんだよ。
ここから神社ですか?
I knew where everything was in my head, but explaining how to get there was difficult. I mean, thinking about it, why would you ask such a question? You should already know by now. I was a little irritated having been bothered for this. but when I realized it meant my detour actually meant something, that feeling faded quickly.
教えてもいいですけど、ちょっと口で説明するのは難しいですよ。一緒でよければ連れて行ってあげますけど。
え？それはかたじけないね。助かるよ。あ、でもいいのかい？君の用事は。
Tomitake-san finally appeared to have realized how strange it was for a student like me to be here at this time of day. I smoothly told him not to worry about it, then turned my back and started walking towards the food shrine. Alright, well, why not? Let's just go through this chapter once more with the food shrine. Let's go. Tomitake-san hurried to turn his bike around and came after me.
ごめん。気にしないでくれよ。男には組織を離れて一匹狼になりたい時もあるんだからね。
What a free-minded freelancer. It was easier for me too that he was under that impression.
僕は富武。フリーカメラマンさ。
Yeah, nice to meet you, Tomitake.
専門は野鳥と風景。まだまだ無名だけどね。
It seemed absurd for him to introduce himself when I was just showing him to the shrine. But he gave me his name, so I needed to give him mine back.
前原圭一です。まあよろしく。
I am Noby Grant, private investigator. Nice to meet you.
圭一くんかい。よろしくね。
He seemed like a pretty silly man, but I felt kind of good considering I'd been suffocating with worry over Satoko all night. Along the way, Tomitake-san spoke at length to me about how precious the nature in Hinamizawa was, and how it was a treasure trove of rare wild birds, despite my not having asked. I wasn't interested in what he had to say, but he seemed to be enjoying himself, so I left him to it.
この石段を上がれば神社の境内です。
ありがとう。助かったよ。ちょっと遅刻しちゃったかな。
As Tomitake-san mumbled to himself, he left his bicycle nearby and started to climb the stairs quickly. Well, are you late for your date with a particular blonde woman? I didn't have a watch, but as far as my internal clock could guess, it was still a little late in the morning. School wasn't very far from here. Maybe I could kill a little more time until then. With that in mind, I went up the stairs in pursuit of Tomitake-san. When I reached the top of the long staircase, I arrived at the wide open shrine grounds. They were too grand looking for this tiny village. Tomitake-san. Oh, there he is. He looked like he was supposed to be meeting someone here. Then he got lost and ended up being late. He was bowing to a lady who must have been the person he was meeting. That lady. I knew her.
あら、前原くんじゃない。
Hi there, Mio Takano.
こんにちは。今日は学校はお休みかしら？
あれ？なんだ、圭一くんついてきたのかい？
別にそんなつもりはないですよ。ただ、ちょっと時間つぶしがしたかっただけです。
あらあら、重役出勤とは優雅なものね。さすがは有名人。今から大物ぶりを発揮してること。
Was I a celebrity? She did say my name out of nowhere anyway. I was only concerned about what she meant by famous. What, you mean about the maebaras in general?
あら、私の名前はまだ思い出せない？
高野美代さんだよ。村の診療所に勤めてる。圭一くんは健康そうだから、あまり病院のお世話にはならないかな。
Not yet.
せっかくお知り合いになれたんだから、今度病気か何かできたら、ちょっぴりだけサービスしてあげようかしらね。
This lady named Takano-san. I kind of didn't remember her. Maybe we'd passed each other on the street a few times, but I was pretty sure this was the first time we talked. Well, this is Hinamizawa. Even if I don't know a person's name, it's not unusual for them to know mine. I glanced at Takano-san and saw she had a bag and a camera.
ひょっとして、二人とも写真仲間ですか？あ、それで待ち合わせを。
仲間でなんてとんでもない。素人の私に二郎さんが優しくてほどきをしてくださるだけなのよ。ねえ。
そんなことないよ。高野さんは飲み込みが早いからね。僕の指導なんかなくても、実に自由に撮影をこなすよ。本当さ。
I couldn't tell which of them was ahead in the conversation. Well, they were certainly one couple you wouldn't get tired of watching.
いよいよあさってが綿流しね。今年はいい写真が撮れるといいんだけど。
Oh yeah, the Watanagashi Festival. It's surely gonna be a sad one this year as well. I mean, the tragedy apparently started much earlier on in this than usual.
明日の設営シーンからレンズに収めるつもりだよ。そういう準備風景からもお祭りの活力を捉えたいんだ。
Oh, I just remembered. There was some village festival called Watanagashi or something the day after tomorrow, on Sunday.
ひなみ沢の守り神、お社様に感謝するため、古い布団を積み重ねて供養する、そんなお祭りでしたっけ？
あら、ご名答。前原くん、引っ越してきたばかりにしては博識ね。
We've done our homework.
そう。お社様に感謝するためのお祭り。
Takano-san smiled somehow meaningfully, but didn't tell me what part of a festival to thank Oyashiro-sama needed to be laughed at.
やれやれ、高野さんは。でも、どうだろうね、今年は。
2度あることは3度ある。そしてもう4度あったのよ。5度目がないと言える方が何の根拠もないと思うけれど。
I knew what they meant by their whispered exchange. On the day of the Watanagashi, a freak death always occurs, which people call Oyashiro-sama's curse, and the disappearance occurs that people call being demoned away. These strange events had happened 4 years running, and Watanagashi, rapidly approaching the day after tomorrow, marked the 5th.
村の旧敵にたたりをなすお社様か。今年もあるとして、果たしてその矛を受けるのは誰になるだろうね。あ、僕はここに来るたびにちゃんとお参りしてお賽銭を入れてる。僕じゃないことは確かだよ。
あらそう。近年のお社様は異邦人には特に厳しいって話よ。
いや
引っ越してきたばかりとはいえ、前原くんはちゃんとHinamizawaに住んでる村人だけど、二郎さんは毎年来るだけのただのよそ者。さーて、今年は見逃してもらえるかしら。
ひどいな。
Tomitake-san was the only one with a pained grin, but we were all smiling, me included. Oyashiro-sama, the one who used the curse to kill people involved with the dam construction project, one after the next. He killed the dam construction manager, killed Satoko's parents for supporting it, and the next year, he even killed her aunt. If the demoning away was part of that curse, then you could add Satoshi to the list of victims. As I thought about it, I realized that in the Zero Freak Death instance, the overwhelming majority had the last name Hojo. Half of the deaths and disappearances had come from the Hojo family. The Hojo family lived here in Hinamizawa, Did that mean Oyashiro-sama punished and cursed them particularly harshly because, despite that, they had been in favor of the dam?
里子の叔父が帰ってきたって話は聞いてますか？
Takano-san, who had been enjoying a few words with Tomitake-san, was caught unaware by my sudden inquiry.
あ、ごめんなさい。今なんて？
いえ、里子の両親がたたり殺されて、おばもたたり殺されて、だったら順番的には次は叔父の番かなって思ったんです。去年のたたりでおばが無残な死に方をし、それに恐れをなして町に逃げていたやつですよ。お社様は確か村を捨てて逃げ出そうとするのは許さなかったですよね。
That is a good point. Why did it live like all this damn time like outside Hinamizawa, when it is known that those who leave the village shall be cursed and die eventually? I hadn't intended to be quite this persistent, but those words, they just flowed out of my mouth without me thinking about it. Right. Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't believe in something so unrealistic, of course. But the fact was that every year, unfortunate accidents and incidents happened to enemies of the village. Like Takano-san said just now, it happened 4 times. No one could say there wouldn't be a 5th.
ふーん。面白い説ね。確かに、過去の犠牲者を見れば、北条姓が多いのは事実。その延長として考えれば、今年は叔父が死ぬか消えるかする可能性は否めないわね。
もう高野さんは起こるかもしれない不幸を笑うのは良くないよ。
ごめんなさいね。でもお社様のたたりは私のライフワークだし。
Takano-san gave off a mysterious, somehow intellectual impression. And her life's work was mysterious in its own right. She probably really liked inexplicable supernatural phenomena or something.
高野さんはお社様のたたりに詳しそうですね。どうでしょう。
Alright. A little bit of a history course, again.
北条の帰ってきた叔父がたたりに会う可能性は。
あら何？そのおじさんを殺したくて仕方がないみたいね。
そんなんじゃないです。
どうだろうね。神様の気まぐれ次第だからね。
前原くん、サンタクロースの正体は知ってる？
The true identity of Santa Claus? No, but I would really like to see about the illusion of the Santa Claus in a Yumineko Christmas episode, if they were to ever make one. Huh? I got a strange question all of a sudden, and I couldn't immediately answer.
なに？知らないの？パパよ。みんなの家のパパ。
なんだ、そういう意味ですか。そりゃそうですよ。どんなものの正体だって最終的には人間です。だってここは人間しかいない世界なんですから。すべての現象は人間で解明できるはずです。
I felt like I put that somewhat strangely, but Takano-san was not as dissatisfied with her reply as I might have guessed.
あら、その年齢のうちからそれに気づけるなんてなかなかね。その通りよ。人間の世で起こる現象はすべて人間の都合で人間が起こす。では前原くん、もう一度尋ねるわよ。今度はサンタクロースじゃなくてお社様。お社様のたたりの正体は何かわかるかしら？
Still trying to figure that one out. Takano-san took a step forward towards me and gazed into my eyes as she asked. Santa Claus was really the parent of every family's children. If lionizing that legend was a corporate tactic to try and profit during Christmas sales, then what was Oyashiro-sama really? A way to scare people into doing what the person behind Oyashiro wants?
と、
あら、あなたが言ったのよ。ここは人間しかいない世界だって。すべての現象は人間で解明できるって。
圭一君、ここだけの話だよ。高野さんはね、お社様のたたりをめぐる一連の連続開始事件をね、hinamizawaの村人が何かの儀式に基づいて行っている人為的殺人事件でないかと見ているんだよ。
誤解しないでね。私はそれに至る教義や思想、文化を民族学的見地から研究することがライフワークなの。別に犯人が誰かなんてことには全く興味がないのよ。そこだけ勘違いしないでちょうだいね。
I could tell only that she was saying some crazy stuff. To use a food analogy, like if you force feed a duck to be fattened. She forced her words down my throat. That's what it felt like.
そもそもそれを理解するためには、hinamizawa村が鬼ヶ淵村と呼ばれていた古代にまで遡らなければならない。
Right.
鬼と血を交わらせたと信じる半人半鬼の仙人たちが。
Takano-san, having entered her home field, leaned forward and began to speak of ridiculous matters. Tomitake-san realized she was overawing me. Tomitake-san realized she was overawing me and interrupted for me. Overawing? That's a word I've never heard of before.
高野さん。その話をいきなり圭一君にしても。ほら、彼も面食らってるよ。
あら、そう？続きに興味があったらいつでも言ってね。
We want to hear more right now.
前原くんくらいの年頃の男の子が好きそうな猟奇的なお話がてんこ盛りなんだから。
ありがとうございます。気が向いたらそのうちに。
For now, I softly and safely gave my refusal. Takano-san seemed a little unhappy that Tomitake-san had rained on her parade, but she stopped talking about it then. Yeah, you know what? Sure, might as well save it for the Watanagashi night. Even so, it was still a very interesting story. That Oyashiro-sama's curse, which we thought of as strange freak deaths, were really homicides perpetrated by people of the village.
まあ常識的に考えればそうですよね。たたりなんかで人が死ぬはずない。誰かがたたりになぞらえて殺してるに決まってます。
そうね。それが誰なのかは研究しない方が無難ね。
高野さんは知ってそうですね。証拠はないまでも確信を持っているくらいには。
あら、どうしてそう思うのかしら？
I just kind of felt it vaguely. It didn't seem like her extreme passion for this research would calm down just because these things were taboo, or because it was safer and easier. This person loved walking through a profound, forbidden abyss of risks and taboos.
それくらいにしなよ、圭一君。せっかく助けてあげたのに、またお社様のたたりの話が始まっちゃうよ。涼しいうちに散策に行きたかったのにな。
Tomitake-san seemed a little disappointed not to be able to go on the date he'd planned since I had brought up a weird topic. But right now, there was something I wanted to ask, just for a little bit. And that was about whether Satoko's uncle would be chosen for the curse this year. If he was, then another miracle would happen, just like last year. It is quite a moral dilemma there, Keiichi Maebara. Would you really want that? You would save Satoko, but, you know, death is death. A terrible incident would happen again, but it would release Satoko from her fortunate circumstances once more.
まあ、もちろん、おそらくあの辺りの人たちが関わってるんだろうなっていう憶測は持ってるわよ。鬼ヶ淵村の歴史を研究していれば、自然と至る必然的結末。
それは、誰です？
What would I do if I knew? I asked that question to the other me deep inside, but got no reply.
熱心ね。それを知ってどうするつもりかしら？
別に。
知ったら、あなたにも危険が降りかかるかもしれないわよ。5年目のたたりはあなただったりして。
Takano-san, toying with taboo, gave a devilish, satisfied smile, as though nothing in the world would be more amusing. She was probably trying to tease me, but I didn't feel like going along with her little game, like, one bit. Especially since we're talking about Keiichi's death right over here that apparently she is laughing at.
偉そうな能書きでもったいぶってますが、高野さんだってよくは分かってないみたいじゃないですか。
I felt a tinge of irritation at Takano-san's roundabout way of speaking. But those emotions escaped my mouth, like water flowing through a strainer. Even I was surprised at how directly I had spoken about what I felt. Of course, I wasn't the only one taken aback.
あら、言ってくれるわね。坊やなのに挑発までできるの？意外に野生的ね。嫌いじゃないわよ、そういうの。
Takano-san's tongue poked out of her mouth, and I was convinced that it was long, thin, and split in the middle like a snake's.
ならいいわ。教えてあげてもよくってよ。でも、教えてあげる前に3つ誓ってもらうわ。私が何を教えても後悔しない。口外しない。私が言ったなんて絶対言わない。
Not to regret it. I gulped firmly and nodded. Tomitake-san made an exaggerated expression of distress, gave a dry, vague smile, and lit a cigarette.
教えてください。たたりを下しているのは誰です？たたる相手を選んでいるのは誰なんです？
I mean, I doubt that we're gonna get like any concrete answer to that, but at least some new clues maybe. And after I said that, I finally realized why I wanted to know. He realizes this. And we're gonna find that out right after the commercial break. Yeah, I imagine if we had like a commercial break in this story. In similar fashion to how apparently, well, this is quite a recent thing, but apparently I think it was a Ubisoft game, another one of those Assassin's Creed games, like whatever. Like they even put like ads in the middle of the game as you go to the menu, like one just pops into your face like that. Imagine. Many of my classmates were playing freely in the schoolyard. What? We're not even gonna like hear it? What the fuck? Like the story just decides to pull me away from Keiichi and just puts me like in the future right here. A few of them had just run out of the school building after putting on their shoes and tapping their toes to the ground. It looked like they had just finished eating lunch. From a time manipulating standpoint, I guess I succeeded. Eh?
前原さん、大丈夫なんですか？
What's up? A few girls noticed me and came running over. It was only natural they were worried. You'd think if someone wasn't there in the morning, they'd be out of the rest of the day.
まあ、遅刻さ。気にしないでくれ。それより、聡子はどうだ？今日は来てるか？
The girls exchanged glances. I saw a faint shadow fall over their faces, and knew the answer without needing to hear them reply. Satoko was absent today too. When all was said and done, after being out 3 days, she only come back for 1. And now she was out again. Who knew if she would come tomorrow?
うん。でも、聡子ちゃんから電話があったって先生言ってました。
Oh?
風邪って言ってたよね。みんな家に帰ったらうがいをちゃんとしましょうって先生言ってました。
Wait a minute, Chie-sensei. That's a little too thick-headed, don't you think? You're a teacher, aren't you? Why can't you be more sensitive and catch on to the fact that your pupil is sending out an SOS? But even if she did, there was nothing we could hope for. The most she could do was a home visitation. She didn't have any right to take Satoko from her uncle into safety. No matter the result, it would end up just like the public agencies, with a wait-and-see attitude. It would just piss Satoko's uncle off, and her suffering would only grow deeper. Then wasn't saying she had a call the best option?
そうだな。みんなも風邪に気をつけろよ。もう行っていいぜ。昼休みはまだ長いぞ。
The girls excitedly scattered into the schoolyard.
ケイチくん
Hey there, Rena. What's up? Rena was yelling out the classroom window, waving her hand. A moment later, Mion and Rika-chan poked their heads out too.
ケイチまでお休みしましたから、とても心配しましたのですよ。
Yeah, you don't have to worry.
でもよかった。顔色もそんなに悪くないし、とりあえず元気そう。
Well, we are fine and healthy. And really happy because we get to see you a little bit more, Rena, Rika, Mion, my cute little babies. I felt a little uncomfortable with her saying that I didn't look sick, but I didn't care that much.
どうしたの？寝坊？
遅刻は遅刻だろ。それとも、電車の事故で遅刻したとでも言えば、許してくれるのか？
寝坊？
Mion was being a bit persistent. Was she going to put on her club president cap and scold me for being late? Well, maybe she didn't have it in for me. So I briefly stated that she was right.
まだね、お弁当あるよ。みんなで食べよう。
Yeah, well, thank you, sweetie.
やっぱりね、ケイチくんがいないと盛り上がらないよね。
聡子は休みなんだな。
Even Rena, feigning cheerfulness, couldn't stand to hear that, and her face darkened.
朝、電話があったらしいよ。風がぶり返したから、また休むってさ。長引くかもしれないって言ってた。かわいそうなので、みんなでお見舞いに行こうという話が出ていますのですよ。
何言ってんだよ、リカちゃん。
Not pleased with Rika-chan wearing a white smile, as though it was a happy occasion. I threw cold water on her.
聡子が風邪なんかじゃないことは、俺たちが一番知ってるだろ。たとえ冗談でも、二度とそういう白々しいことを言うな。次は怒るからな。
Rika-chan furrowed her brow, looked down, and mumbled an apology.
ケイチくんだけじゃないよ。みんな辛いよ。
俺だけが悩んでるなんて思ってない。でも、みんな何もできないのは本当だろ。
それはそうだけど。でも。
I got a feeling I would cause another fight if this exchange went on. So I apologized first. Alright. Let's not Yeah, let's not get angry, just like yesterday.
ごめん。謝るから、今の話は忘れてくれ。辛いのは、みんなも同じだよな。ああ。
It was at least clear, however, that I was the only one who had worried so much about rescuing her. At the very least, everyone else probably got the normal amount of sleep last night. Probably had good dreams too. They definitely hadn't stayed up all night thinking so desperately.
登校してきていきなりこんなこと聞いて気を悪くするかもしれないけど、ケイちゃん、今日遅刻したよね。さとこが今日欠席したこととは関係ある？
は？ミオ、お前、何の話してるんだ？
About her being absent? No, not at all.
ケイちゃんはたまにちょっとつ猛進なところがあるからね。今朝、さとこと一緒にケイちゃんも休んだとき、さとこを家から連れ出して、どこかにかくまったんじゃないかって、本気で思った。
As if Keiichi would clearly think about such a ridiculous plan like that. Of taking Satoko away and hiding her somewhere. Nah, not at all. Easy for you to say. If I could have, I'd have done that last night. None of them had really thought about how difficult that clear-as-day solution was. I was up thinking all night, thinking until the night was brightening. And then, I concluded that I couldn't do anything of the sort.
バカかお前。人間一人かくまうなんて、できるもんかよ。
そうだね。ごめん。気を悪くしたなら謝るよ。
別にいいよ。それより、飯にしようぜ。腹が減ってんだ。
I took my bento box out of my bag. Everyone moved to make a spot for me to sit. You know, with the whole talk of trying to hide Satoko, it kind of made me think of this idea. What if Satoshi got kidnapped? I don't know for what reason. Maybe to protect him, maybe? In which case, why didn't the person who kidnapped Satoshi also kidnap Satoko in that sense? I don't know. I mean, I also brought up the idea in like the first investigation video that they kidnap people to experiment on them and find a cure or test the infection or something like that. But other than that, any other reason for kidnapping Satoshi? Maybe to protect them in similar fashion to how Keiichi thought about hiding Satoko from her uncle? Yeah. Like, if that were the case, Satoshi would not agree with that, like leaving Satoko behind, so... It would definitely have to be something along the lines of Satoshi being kidnapped forcefully, not willingly.
前原くん、今来たんですか?
And just as I was about to stick my chopsticks in, Chie-sensei came along. Hello there, Chie. A lovely day.
あ、はい。遅刻してすみません。寝坊しまして。
What the heck? Even the teacher was giving me that strange look.
お弁当を食べたら、院長と前原くんは職員室に来てください。
Alright.
ちょっとお話がありますので。
Probably about Satoko, I thought. Sensei left it at that and went back into the hallway.
弁当を食うまでもないだろう。行こうぜ、ミオ。
うん。そうだね。